Hey there. I've just read this news article and I was like, oh my God, I agree with Keir Starmer. Who knew, mate? Not on a lot, right? And after I read this, and then I went and watched a video on YouTube about something else, and I'm like, right, okay, well, I agree with him a bit, but he's not addressing it. Like this is just he's I think personally he's just jumped on a bandwagon here to make himself look cool in the eyes of the public because he's not addressing the old problem. Anyways, this is the news article and it's titled, is this by The Independent? Starmer, we cannot shrug our shoulders at problems with boys and young men. Fully grown men as well, we'll get into this. Sir, again, you know what I think of him. Keir Starmer said problems, did I say Starmer then? Never mind. Said problems with the attitudes of some boys and young men cannot be ignored. The Prime Minister said the government should not shrug our shoulders about the challenges, although he rejected the suggestion of a Minister for Men was needed. His comments came after former England football manager Sir Gareth Southgate, mate, you in that club? Shit. Said many young men were turning to manipulative and toxic influencers. So Tate. Andrew Tate, for people who've never heard of Andrew Tate, like, has anybody not heard of Andrew Tate? He is one of those that has braced the mainstream media. He used to have a small following, but news, because of a lack of male role models. And Keir Starmer is not a male role model. We can all agree on that one, methinks. There is nothing manly, strong, commanding, moral about that man. He has a penis. Oh, and actually, just earlier on, apparently there was this MP woman, minister for some kind of sex shit, I don't know, who basically refused to answer the question of what is a woman. And whilst them bastards point down that you can't define a woman is who has a egg sacs inside, a man has his outside. That's my opinion. That's what a woman is. Somebody with a vagina who has reproductive organs on the inside of the body. Man has his on the outside of the body. They join and blah, 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 blah. End of. Sorry if that offends, but it's logic. And we live in a world where logic now offends. And that's just madness. Sir Keir told BBC Radio 5 Live he had spoken to Sir Gareth about the issue. I am worried about this. I've got a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, he said. Now, he's two-tier police, like it's two-tier care, but it's two-tier parenting here as well, because he's focusing on the boy and not the girl. There's a reason why the debate has suddenly, I know this is about men, maybe, but I've not heard him come out. We'll get there. I've not heard him come out yet either. There's a reason why the debate has suddenly sparked into life on this, and that's because I think a lot of parents, a lot of people who work with young people at school or elsewhere recognise that we may have a problem with boys and young men that we need to address. In a lecture earlier this month, Sir Gareth said callous influences online trick young men into thinking women are against them. He warned of young men withdrawing into the online world, reluctant to talk or express their emotions as real-world communities and mentorship declines. Fully agree. He said a void in their search for direction is often now being filled by some influences who willingly trick young men into believing that success is measured by money or dominance. And this is where we break off. Because I just watched a video by Simply What the Fuck about Bonnie Blue, and Bonnie Blue has gone over to America and she's slagging about in America as well, but she's famous for it over there. They're lapping it up, apparently. And now she's saying she's going after girls. I can't wait to taste those barely legal girls. Fuck off. But when if you're going to address Andrew Tate, you have to address Bonnie Blue, because Bonnie Blue is, whilst Andrew Tate is saying women are beneath you, women are lesser people, Bonnie Blue is saying women are beneath you, women are lesser people. Do you see where I'm coming from? Now, two-tier care has a boy and a girl. He's addressing the boy here, listening to Andrew Tate. And to be fair, I'd rather listen to Andrew Tate than Keir Starmer. don't know about you, and I can't fucking stand Andrew Tate. Literally, if you think he's amazing, put your hand up and slap yourself with it. That's it. The bloke is a fucking douche canoe. Like, literally nothing sexually appealing about him, nothing. Well, you know, if he put a bag on his head. But then I've seen him in his budgie smugglers, and he ain't packing a lot down there. So, nah, you know what I mean? His muscles are fine, but, you know, they can only get you so far. His brother, actually, however, his brother, I do. Sorry. Here's me denouncing Bonnie Blue for being a slag. Yeah, I'd fucking... Is it Tristan? Something like that? Yeah, I'd bang him. And I don't, you know, like, this is not what I do. So celibate, like, literally, I'm not celibate, you know, I just don't. Just don't. But yeah, if you've got it, he said, the issue was also, and this is where it comes down to it, the issue has also been addressed in the Netflix drama Adolescence, in which Sir Keir said he was watching with his children. Which means nothing, watching it with your children, explaining it to your children, which I don't give him the mental capacity. I do not rate Keir Starmer on an intellectual, highly on the intellectual scale. Do you know what I mean? I do not. I don't think there's much about the bloke. He follows orders. He says what's on a piece of paper. That doesn't take intelligence, mate. It just means that you just behave like you're still in school. I also think if you actually ask a young person, they're more likely to identify somebody who's in their school teacher. So he's like going on about role models and shit like this. But yes, Andrew Tate, bad man, right? But if you're going to address Andrew Tate, you also need to address Bonnie Blue, because Bonnie Blue is telling these men that Andrew Tate is telling women literally are just there to fucking, they're pieces of shit. They put their makeup on, they do their hair, they're fake as fuck, and they are beneath you. Earn your money, own them. Bonnie Blue is saying at that same time, put a balaclava on and own them. Because I am so fucking loose, I will shag any man, woman, or dog. Oh, I didn't want to put child in there. But her and Lily Phillips are like, you know, Lily Phillips did that. I did a video on calling Lily Phillips out because she faked going to shag a bloke in a care home. He was not 82, that man. She faked it. So, and Bonnie Blue, I'm sure, is faking off her fucking act. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't care because she wants money and dominance. Do you see the correlation between her and Andrew Tate? Now, I say, he's going like, oh yeah, we've got to be careful of the young boys. I know fully grown men, right? And admittedly, the ones that I've seen, a lot of them seem to be foreign, Africans and whatever. Like putting out how shitty women are and how we're all fake. Like, you know, take the makeup off. It's like, yeah, shave your beard then. Come on. You do you know what I mean? And these men, the way that they speak, again, no intellect, no actual brain power. It's like, I heard this from Andrew Tate. I am going to repeat this from Andrew Tate. But I have, and I don't see this much anymore, but there was a trend like a few years ago of MGTOW men going their own way. Basically, all women are bitches. Now, I ain't gonna fucking lie and say all women are nice. I lived my life in a bubble for like 12 years or whatever, and then the past couple of years, I've been out, started going out, mingling with the world. I've stopped it now. But I was going out on a like at least monthly basis, out to the pub, and literally there's some fucking psycho women out there. And I've got mates on Facebook. Literally, there are some psycho women, but they're like I have, and I'm so sorry, but you don't watch my videos, right? There's one chap who just literally is obsessed with this woman who, from the text messages that he sent, just don't want a bar on him. And he will not get over it. And he's constantly posting about what a slag this girl is, how she broke his heart, how she never wanted to be him. And it's like, dude, let him go. I am going to have to, I think, unfriend him because I'm just sick of it. And I I know that at some point in time I'm gonna fucking hold a mirror up, because he is embarrassing himself so much. But years ago, used to have one of these MGTOW men going their own way. And literally, I did get into a conversation with him, and we discussed it, and he was like, look, I'm sorry, like, all right, maybe they're not all the same. You've convinced me of that now. And he don't do that anymore. Like, he doesn't constantly post about how bitchy women are. And like, like with either gender, if you get somebody of the opposite sex that treats you like a utter fucking piece of shit, you are gonna take that, and then if you meet another one who also does it, and unfortunately there ain't many men out there who've got much, like to bring, because give us education for the men, give them mentors, because we're not teaching people how to be decent fucking human beings. And I've always said this, like with rich people, it's like that's what gives you your power. If you're a chav, you've got two choices: money or being hard. You can either be rich or you can be hard, right? And that's what men sort of go through. It's like, I've either got, and literally the amount of men who've come to me either going like, I've got money, I can take care of you, or this bloke giving you fucking, I'll smack him out. And it's like, mate, that's the lowest level of intellect. Like, violence is the lowest level of intellect that you can come to me with. I need some sort of conversation that's above preschool level. And I know I sound right up my own arse by this, but I'm 53 years old. I am actually speaking to a lovely young man at the minute. Nothing romantic, well, there's everything sexual in that. But he's Indian, he lives in India. And literally, I can converse with him on an adult level. And I've just spent 6 months something speaking to this 68-year-old dude who literally nothing, no conversation at all. I just sit there and just listen to him lie to me for 15 minutes. And then that was the end of that. And I did it out of pity, kindness, nothing else to do. I don't know. But literally, this 26-year-old lad, and then I did a video a little while ago about this guy who's my age, so he was 52 or 54, so he was like around my age, that I'd met on Facebook. He looks like he's intelligent, grey beard, like well-dressed, cute dimples, lovely looking man. Thought, hey up, I found somebody my own age, because I just thought I was a, like, I don't know what I was, but it's usually younger men that come to me and whatever. Literally, that dude, proper douche, psycho, like, do not know what's going on in his head. But like, literally, one night I'm talking to my niece on the phone, and he's like messaging me, and he's like, oh, do you fancy a quick call? And I said, oh, sorry, I'm on the phone to my niece. And he went like, you need to find a new fucking lie. You've used that excuse already. And I'm like, every time I've told you I've been on the phone to my niece, I've been on the phone to my fucking niece. And it's like, that spoke volumes about the man that I was dealing with. The fact that that's where his brain automatically went. And so he's probably gone, he's got no kids, never been married, I don't think. And he's probably got this in his head that all women are, but the problem is squarely with that man. And I doubt that he'll ever address it, because he's in his 50s now. And, the oldest guy that has a thing for me is 80, bless him. And he did, like with the 68-year-old man, my wife's died, I've got all this life insurance money, I want to spend it on you. And it's like, I don't care. And I considered talking to this 80-year-old man, because I thought, oh, he's 80. He's always out on the piss trying to get himself a young lady. And once he went out, and he was obviously on a date with this fucking young woman, and I felt so sorry for him. He usually wears a tweed jacket. Really, smart looking man. And he turned up and he got a fucking leather jacket on with a big gold chain. I was mortified for him. Oh, bless. But he was, let me take you out for dinner. I'll pay for everything. I've got money. Fuck off. I don't give a shit how much money you've got. I do not give two shiny shits about what money you've got. And yet, even though the male species, such slim pickings, and then even when you go to rich people, you've got people like Keir Starmer, and literally the thought of sitting and having dinner with a bloke like that. You know what I mean? I mean, what, a comedian? Like, give me a comedian, like a middle-aged comedian, because at least then you know you're going to have a fucking laugh. But like we're not taught how to be human in schools. We're not taught how to converse with each other. We're told to sit down, shut up, and do the absolute opposite of what we need to do to become well-rounded grown-ups. That's why we're here. And it's like my ex is a teaching assistant, and he's a fucking good one, and he is proud of what he does, and there is, and he is good at what he does, and a lot of kids fucking love that man. And even though we're broken up, so do I, and I always bloody will. I think he's fucking adorable. He's just not for me. He's too mainstream. We don't get on. He's like, sit down, shut up, and do as you're told. And I'm like, no, ask questions, challenge why you're being taught that. Why are you just going through and just dropping this on the kids? So of course, like, I'd have never stayed with him anyway if we'd not have broken up. We broke up 13 years ago, I think. 14 years ago now. But once the Rona hit, I'd have never been able to have stood by and let what happened to the kids happen to the kids. Like, no way. So we would have broken up anyway. But that's by the by. So basically, but yeah, there are fully grown men, and personally, I've been pursued romantically by an 80-year-old and a 68-year-old and a 50-odd-year-old, and none of them, not a one, had an ounce of like man about them. You want somebody who's going to make you laugh, and somebody who's going to send you good morning texts, and somebody that you can sit and just talk about everything with. And it was just, me like you, we bang. And what are we teaching the kids? Do you know what I mean? With Bonnie Blue. So what, we can fucking address Andrew Tate all we bloody like. But unless we also address Bonnie Blue, do you know what I mean? Because men want to shag her and women want her money. Now, if anybody out there like actually wants to look like Bonnie Blue, again, get better idols, kids, because she scares me. She's like a sort of a caricature of a human being, too thin, too shiny, face is all bones. Like, I'd just be scared of snapping her. But she advocates that women are so fucking easy, just stick a balaclava on and you can have them. Andrew Tate is put a pair of budgie smugglers on, fucking sit on a private jet and you can have them. And they'll be so grateful because women are all fucking stupid. Well, guess what? They're not. Andrew Tate was fucking owned by a teenage girl, for fuck's sake, with more intellect in her than that man. We don't credit people on what's actually in their head. Nothing. Bonnie Blue, thick as shit, brilliant businesswoman, don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? But she could be doing serious work. Just to bring Garen Noon back in it. You've got a platform now, mate. You've got a platform. Say something. Do some help in the world. No, I just want to make more money and fucking end up dead of AIDS. Lily Phillips is on a speed train to an anal prolapse. We've got it all wrong. And we don't stand a chance unless we get rid of them bastards. Sorry to point it out, but unless we overthrow the patriarchy, literally make the world fair, start from the ground up, make a sensible way of working the world where the orders don't come from up there, because the orders that come from up there, it's not trickle down economics, mate. They're fishing. It's fishing economics. They just go orders down, money up. And they're the only ones that will ever benefit from the way that the world is run. And they allow people like Andrew Tate and Bonnie Blow into the mainstream media because they need us to think these things. Now, best advice, educate your children. Bring your kids up right. Put your mobile phone down, switch the telly off, play a board game, ask how their day's going, and just be involved in their life, and so that they can trust you to come with things. Now, I've also watched a video today on this wonderful, absolute fucking legend, this Sikh gentleman who is basically saving children. And I learnt on that 1 million little girls in the UK have been gang raped or the victim of grooming gangs and whatever. 1 million. Where is Keir Starmer standing up on that? Because Keir Starmer is like, oh, no, look over there. Look over there. So whilst he's standing up for like, oh, my boy needs a fucking Gareth Southgate, and he's like, mate, if he's a sir, right? What does your daughter need? Your daughter needs to grow up in a world knowing that her vagina is hers and hers alone, and she has the option of who goes in there. Because at the minute we're breeding, we are allowing this. So by all means, educate the lads, but educate the girls as well. Please. These are our children. And just going like, oh, look, bandwagon, let's up on it, because I've got a teenage boy. You've also got a teenage girl, mate. And what are you going to... Well, obviously, his little girl, it's not going to happen to her, is it? Because she has security and whatever. So she's not going to be gang raped by a fucking grooming gang. But, and he don't give a shit about anybody else. And he proves that on a daily basis. This ain't about... This is about currying favour. So at the beginning, I was curried. Like, literally. He had my favour. And then when I watched that thing about Bonnie Blow, it's like, oh, we're two-tiering, are we now? You know, like, it's just like, oh, let's focus on this bit and not this bit. But this has been going on forever because we have fully grown men with no respect for fucking women. And despite all of these people, right, and this is a handy little hint, you know, like if you are tempted to be this person, because everybody's like, oh yeah, women, you know, like they get treated like shit once, they hate all men. Like, and I'm getting talked to by these people, and it's like, does not describe me at fucking all. And occasionally I'll pip up, and you know what I mean? But like, excuse me, you're talking utter fucking nonsense right now. It's like, yes, you've met this, but the next person that I meet, I will give him the exact same respect that I've given to everybody else until they fucked me over. Because guess what? We can't just lump everybody in the same. Because everybody has a chance. Everybody. But it's the work has to come from inside you. When I was a little girl, I wasn't this person. Do you know what I mean? And when I got up today, I wrote notes, mate. I'd got planned a video. I got up and I need to do a video on who I was as a child and who I am as an adult, and how I just fancy doing it, like what I wanted to be versus what I am now, and where I'm going and whatever, and the things that I used to go after, you know, mate, and you know, like, and I ain't settling for not having those things, you know what I mean? I was young. From a little age, I was dancing. I always wanted to be a singer. I always wanted to be an actress. So I have done acting in my time, been to Amdram and in Amdram groups and shit like this. And Do you know what I mean? It's in everything that you do brings you to where you are. And here I am just spouting shit about ultimately saving the fucking kids. You know, like I have my regular topics, and one of them is that we are all of us doing our kids a disservice by not standing up and saying, excuse me, but this is wrong. Educate your own kids. And if you don't know what to do, get mates who that you look up to have in the kids' lives. You know, but for God's sake, right now we live in a world where they are contactable by anybody who wants to contact them online. So monitor that shit. And for God's sake, whenever you see people like Andrew Tate or Bonnie Blow, point out to your child how incredibly wrong that behaviour is. Start small, but start. Any old how. Anyways, I think I've waffled on for way too long on this. But yeah, any old chance to Keir Starmer. I'm up, mate. Not stab him. I just poke the bear. Prod the knob. I don't like him. Can you tell? Oh, greasy, gammon-faced man. Like, never liked him. And literally, you put him next to fucking Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn, is it? Jeremy Corbyn at least looked like he should be in Labour. Keir Starmer looks like he's actually in active labour, sweating his fucking tits off 24. Shut up, carry on, shut up. Anyways, if you made it to the end, I owe you a bevy, and you probably need one after this. Thank you for coming. Please come back, and never forget that I love you all.